Hello and welcome to the third and final, for this year at least, round of the Welsh Esports League. We are here tonight for a very exciting best of three match between the Dragons and the Robins. I'm here with Lude as usual. How are you feeling today, Lude?
I'm excited, Kit. We've got a couple of days gap in between the road to the international and the playoff stage. What a fantastic naming convention from Valve, by the way. Um, I'm happy that I'm happy that I've got some professional. I'm happy that I've got some professional Dota competitive Dota to watch to sort of to scratch the competitive itch, and I get to make fun of my friends on stream, and that's what I live for. It's part of why I'm here.
And what better way to kind of fill that void in the middle of TI than get a little bit of Welsh Esports League action going on? Do you know much about the two teams that are here tonight, Lude?
Um, I mean, the Dragons are mostly the lineup that they have been from since we saw them first time around. Jiggly and Mizrain are the sort of the ones that have always remembered being there. I believe Presti's a pretty hot. I think Presti's an immortal player. So they've actually got a bit more firepower this time around, and the Wrexham Robins, their Pulse 5 Fleur is a terrible human being, and I can't wait to watch them fail miserably.
Yeah, we've got quite a few new faces on the Robins this time round. So we are predominantly looking at the same lineup in the Dragons as we saw in the last Welsh Esports League. We
Mm,
have got one new face in Wilt. I'm looking forward to seeing how she's fit in with the team. But we've got three new players on the Robins, which I'm quite looking forward to seeing what that does for a little bit of the old team dynamic. I think it could be pretty interesting to see how they get along.
yeah, I'm curious as to see how these. I know that they had a chance to. I think they tried to get a scrim in, and they had some problems. So they haven't been able to like scrim as such, but I know that a bunch of these players have been queuing together, so hopefully they have got a little bit of time to sort of try and get to know each other a little bit. And I'm really excited to see what they come out with in these drafts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these three games, or maybe even two, depending on what happens,
Mm.
go tonight. And obviously, at the end, we will be playing for a first and second or runner up place. Our first place team will be taking away £60 today, whilst our second place are playing for 45. So a little bit of a difference. And bragging rights, obviously, the most
Of
important
course.
part. And we are ready to get our way into this draft for game number one. Now, what kind of heroes do you think are pretty important to start taking out at the moment, then, Lude? This is our first Welsh Esports League on this specific patch. A couple of changes.
So it's mostly going to be again about the it's more important at this level of play. It's really more important to think about like your own comfort.
Hmm.
But I think that it's gonna be we're gonna be seeing things like, I mean, we've already seen the Prophet get banned out, so I don't know if that's a case of that feels more like a previous patch problem. Yeah, there's the Spirit Breaker ban. Fleur's wasting no time. Fleur absolutely does not want that nonsense in her games. And Brewmaster ban. I don't know if any of you, if you watched the game with second game with Nouns versus Tundra, where they just brew split, send the brew pandas to siege buildings. You can't do anything to stop it, and then just move back. And then 80 seconds later, just do it again. Just death of a thousand cuts. It is really, really not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That might also be some potentially be some targeted banning against Presti. I think Presti is a brew player.
Oh, always good to take a brewmaster out of the hands of a good brewmaster player.
Yeah,
There is nothing worse than finding yourself in a match against one and finding out they're
yeah.
actually good at the hero and not just
Like,
making it up as they go along.
I'm bang average at brewmaster, and it's not good to give me brewmaster in a game where I feel all right with it. So if there's a good brewmaster player, yeah, you're right. That's not anything anybody wants in their life.
And
Valora ban.
what makes this hero such a surprise for you to see it banned out then?
It's not one that's really massively been on my radar. Maybe that's one that's more about Presti's preference. The first ban, the ban of the Chaos Knight is because Chaos Knight is a really obnoxious hero to see in the carry. It's carry at the moment. It's probably one of the strongest heroes in the game. That the 30% buff to the healing on the passive is just absurd. It's not okay. The Phoenix pickup is an interesting one for the as a first pick for the Dragons. It'll be interesting to see. There's a couple of options here in the pool, but the
Yeah,
classic answer.
Yeah, you've always got to be prepared to see the Snapfire come out if you pick a Phoenix, and haven't kind of made it a little bit more difficult to put this here.
Yeah,
I actually don't like the Snapfire counter that much to a Phoenix. I think there are, especially if you play it in a support role, you tend not to be close enough to hit the egg enough. It can work if you try and egg in situations where the snap might be able to get to you, but I'm actually
I
not a huge fan of it.
I played a game with Fleur and Chezzy earlier on today, and I believe Chezzy said that Snapfire is a hero that they like playing, so it's possibly some comfort as well as sort of honestly, the Snapfire is generally widely considered to be the best counter to Phoenix.
It's
So
pretty good. Yeah, it
I
is pretty
appreciate where you're
good.
coming from in terms of the if you feel that it's harder to get close to them, like I get it, but generally speaking, you're almost always able to. It's not often a problem. The Kunkka ban, Kunkka's an interesting one. Kunkka is apparently widely is being picked a lot at TI as an offlaner, but it has a really bad win rate. The reason that if it can do well is because that Ags is absurd, and the ability to shard as well is also pretty strong.
Yeah, it is pretty good at the moment, you know. I quite like having these little upgrades. They can make some huge differences to the game.
Yeah, I mean the Warlock ban, Treant ban, the Treant and AA bans earlier on. AA could just be because it's a strong flavor hero, but there's also might be a little bit of target in that because Fleur McGurba does love her ancient apparition. Warlock has also been really strong in this patch as well, so it is quite silly.
Ooh, having a little bit of a Centaur come out. How are you feeling about Centaur in this patch?
Very strong. Centaur is pretty strong. Can have a lot of there's the you can go. It's one of the heroes that is well. What's the flavor of this patch? Blade Mail plus Heart of Tarask, and
Mm-hmm.
him do be a hero that does like building those items.
Does enjoy a Blade Mail and a Heart of Tarrasque on a
Yeah.
Centaur. Yeah.
If you can get away with not getting a blink immediately and getting the heart first, you can farm just so ridiculously fast on this hero now. It's not okay. Um, I think with a heart, I think at level 4 you can one shot a creep wave now. I think, which that's silly. That's not okay. Um, I had a game yesterday where I went silencer and I got the AoE last word. AoE last word, just drop it on the creep wave and walk away. And kill with the creep wave. I'm just like, that's stupid. Like, that's silly. Like, okay, it took a lot to get to that point, but that's crazy. So I think that they'll have a lot of good wave clear, which I think will be really beneficial. The bristleback and now the hero as well.
10 seconds.
Bristle's been seeing a lot of play. Bristle is with Bloodstone plus Axe is just stupid. You can basically solo tormentors, which that's pretty stupid. And generally you can absolutely just pump out completely unreasonable levels of damage. It just doesn't feel okay.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of damage can come out in those creep wave clearances.
The Jakiro is really good here as well, because I think the Jakiro will be really good AoE control, good a bit of AoE control to potentially help protect this egg. A little bit of once the laning phase is broken down and we're at the point where there can be a dead lane, Jakiro can push that out pretty well and be able to accelerate to start getting decent item of his own. That could be something to look.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Yeah, I think Jakiro is a very strong supporting hero at the moment, or even played in some other roles as well. Can be pretty strong.
I think Speed put out a video the other day about the what he considers the best heroes for each role, and his two best pos 5s were Treant Protector and Jakiro. Because again, Jakiro just has has a lot of utility and a lot of damage. Meanwhile,
and we all know why Treant Protector's a popular hero at the moment.
I mean, you're happy. Your Skella lady is out there, the Muerta.
Oh, my one true love.
I think this is a carry Muerta, honestly. If it weren't for the Snapfire, I'd say that we could potentially be looking at a flex Muerta, because we have been seeing a bunch of pos 4.
That silence is pretty good.
There is a possibility. It is remote. It could be a mid Snapfire, pos 4 Muerta, still pos 5 Bane. It's possible. I'm not sure how much I would like the mid Snapfire. But yeah, I think that
I think that's fair.
It's probably, we're probably looking 4-3-5-1. So it just looks like the dragons certainly seem to think that it's a mid that the Rex and Robins are missing at this point. Meanwhile, the Robins banning the PA means that they think that the Bristle is going off lane rather than as a carry, which we have been seeing. It's strange to think Bristle's back to being an off laner. He's been really good he's been pretty decent as a carry for a little while, and now he's being seen.
I think the Axe change does have a lot to do with it. The AoE nasal goo was very, very strong. Not that his current Axe doesn't have his uses, but it's a little more difficult now to build up those stacks with it, at least.
I'd say that the current Axe, I'd actually argue, is probably better.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I think one of the big advantages of the nasal goo was building up the warpath stacks.
Yeah, so in a way, it was more conducive to carry. In a way, it was almost more conducive to carry Bristle to have the old one, because then you could build up the stacks. Yeah, but
yeah, and it's also the old help the team by reducing their armor. Oh, as if you care about that as a pos 1.
I mean, I was never thinking about helping the team when I was reducing their armor as a pos 1 Bristle. Let me tell you. Dragons getting rid of Primal as their. I mean, we do see some Primal mid. I do notice there is no Shaker band at the moment, so there is a possibility that the Rex and Robins could look at a last pick Shaker.
Ooh, the old cheeky last pick shaker, eh? Not seen that one in a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think with Puck,
10 seconds.
if you can fake out the swing for the phase
5
shift,
seconds.
and then when it is out of the phase shift, hit Puck with the enchant totem hit. I think Puck has a bad time,
Probably, yeah.
but
Welcome to another
oh,
exciting game of Dota. All right, get your finger out of your nose
Oh,
and let's get this over with.
interesting. We do like a little bit of a last pick Necro. I
not
think,
really.
you know, I do. I quite like Necro.
Yeah, I'm not sure what answers they're gonna have for it. I mean, they've got a little bit of the magic damage in terms of securing the puck, I guess. But if as long as Necrophos keeps their stick high and keeps the Ghost Shroud ready, you can just pop that, and then suddenly, oh well, all this damage you did is just gone. And what's Sven gonna do when you're That's the
Yeah.
thing with
What is he going to do indeed? Well, we're going to find that out in just a little bit as we're getting into the game now. We do have to take a minor break in the stream. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. We have a couple of technical difficulties, but we will see you very soon.
Remember, it's all on you here. A lot of pressure. All on your shoulders. Man, I would be a